All right, welcome everybody to Purposeful Patriarchs. I'm your host, Eman, and this is the YouTube channel that works on looking at historical reports and information, books, literature, journals, academic journals, statistics, the Bible, to look at how to fix like the broken family structure that's affecting society from a British and American context. And as part of that, I am going to be reacting to a video that was done by Melanated Minds UK and Sarah Garvey, or Stephen Burrell as his YouTube channel is named. And this is just discussing a conversation that constantly goes on within the black community about whether black women or whether black men hate black women. And this is a really very interesting conversation. Shout out to them. If you come across this video, please go over there, drop a like, so that they can get more views for this episode, and you can go there and comment. I'm not sure if I've commented, but I've watched it quite a few different times, especially in preparing to react to it. So let's get involved and listen to what they have to say.
What?
Talk to me.
I'm talking to you right now. What would you like me to say?
That you're wrong about talking bad about women.
I don't talk bad about women.
Ask for forgiveness.
I talk the truth about women.
Okay.
You have.
And that's the interesting part, is about talking truth, because so many people don't want to have the difficult truth about the behaviour of different cross sections of society, especially when it comes to things like black women who have sort of a minority status. And I'll talk about the fact that black men it's always open season on black men. But yeah, let's continue.
I'm filming all of that. No.
I'm so sorry. That's just me. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Oh,
I'm not gonna put that part
God.
in. Talking about how obviously the way the internet perceives you is that you don't like black women.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Actually, women at all, I think it says that you
I
don't
love
like
women
generally. Well, yeah, love is. See again, you.
She doesn't believe what he has to say. Oh man.
Said before, I asked you what does authority mean, and then I said you said you were authority. Then I said, what is your... No.
I said black women are not used to men in authority.
Yeah.
Sorry, black women are used to men in authority positions. They don't like black men in authority positions. They have a hard time having a black man in an authority position telling them what to do for some reason.
Okay, but...
Okay, so this is where I come in now. And as I've discussed on my longer form episodes on the Moynihan Report, I give a solid definition a solid historical explanation, not a definition, a solid historical explanation to why black women find it very difficult to submit to black men as a authority figure, whether it's a black father figure, whether it's a black husband, whether it's older black men in general, uncle, or someone within society. There's always a lot of pushback in terms of them not being submissive, but they have no issue being submissive to their bosses or white men in society. And obviously the historical reason for this is because of slavery and colonialism. The strong father figure has always, in the black community, has always been a particular target for the system of white supremacy. And I will do episodes on the black patriarchy, the fact that there was no black patriarchy. So whenever you watch these videos, if I haven't done them, please just drop a comment on there, ask me to do them, tell me whether you have or you haven't found them, because there's so much work that I need to do to try and get all these videos out, because I'm trying to tie a lot of loose threads to try and give a lot of clarity around these situations. And as it mentioned in the Moynihan report, because there was no strong father figure, there was what happened is, because of that gap within the family structure, that led to the strong matriarchal figure within the black community, and black women lead the community in America. A lot of black men don't like that truth, but that is the case. It's also the similar over here, in particularly the black Caribbean community. So they have a very matriarchal culture, a single motherhood culture as well, amongst their women, and that is again from slavery. For us who are from a black African or a British African descent, we tend to have a bit less of that in terms of a matriarchal structure, because, for example, if you're from Nigeria or from Ghana, we still practice we're closer to our history and our lineage, where the even if there is a matrilineal descent, there is patriarchal control, and this is why I think there's an episode that will be done about Generation X, and the fact that even though there is a patriarchal control, it what am I trying to say? It actually helps actually lead the community and keep an actual family structure in place. And Maya Angelou has actually spoken to that, and one of the reasons why there is a matrilineal descent and a patriarchal control, that actually black African men have a solid view and a good view of their women and how to treat their women so that they don't feel marginalized, which goes against things like feminism. So yeah, let's continue.
Then also what I question, you call yourself somebody in a place of authority.
Yes.
You are
I'm a father.
A self-proclaimed person of authority, man of authority. I'm just saying, authority is not something you just wake up one morning and you say, authority. It's something that you earn. Like you gave the thing about the example of being a judge, of being a policeman, of being a boss. You don't just wake up and are that. That's an earned title. So you can't just sit here and say, oh yeah, I'm upsetting black women on the internet because I'm authority.
That's not what I said.
They don't
That's
use
what you
authority.
said.
No, because that was our conversation.
No, but you're saying that I'm upsetting black women on the internet. Like I said, if I ask you, do you think that Chinese men are the authority over Chinese women? Do you think Indian men have the authority over Indian women? Do you think Arab men have the authority over Arab women?
And I said two things. I said, first of all, that the term happy wife, happy life is
It's nonsense.
But it's a global thing. If you get together with a group of married men, 9 out of 10 of them will agree to that. 9 out of 10. And second, I also said, what is your definition of authority? Because you also say you love black women, but if I, looking from the outside, if I wouldn't know you personally, I mean, I don't know you enough to know your personal life and to see how you love your woman, so I can't really, but looking from the outside.
But you see me bring her to your event.
Yeah, and to be honest.
Is she black?
Yeah, she's black, but
okay, so
she didn't necessarily look. It didn't necessarily even some of her. Even when she was talking, you were talking. Some of the opinions you stated, she was looking at you like, okay. But anyways, that's relative again. But I'm just saying that's subjective, yes. And the same way I can say you say you love black women. For me, that doesn't. The way you speak about black women or speak to black women. Your branding, let's say, doesn't look like love to me. That's the same way when I said when we're talking about, just a second, when we're talking about authority, that's why I said before, what is your definition of authority? And you said, oh, see, you don't want to answer my question. I do, but the same way, I do, and I told you also before. For me, authority is if the person of authority says, A, you don't ask why and how, you just do it because that's authority. Me personally, I think nobody should have authority like that over someone.
Because you know that the person in authority is doing things for your best interest.
Okay, I'll pause it there for my next commentary. Okay, so there's quite a few things that I need to sort of touch upon. From the beginning of the episode, we see a question of like whether, because Sarah talks about the fact that black women are used to men having authority, but they're not used to black men having authority. I've touched upon that, and also I think there's this whole thing about like love, and authority, because love actually does equal correction. If you do truly love somebody, then you will correct their behavior. And there's this whole thing about authority that Sarah and Melanated Minds have spoken about, and she talks about it there where she thinks that nobody should have any authority over anybody. And this is a common, within the matriarchal mindset, this is a common issue that I've noticed, where a lot of black women don't think that anybody should have authority over anybody, which I think just doesn't make sense, because when you start to chase through that thread, black women do believe in authority. They do believe in their own authority being the final word. They just don't believe that a black man should have final authority on anything. And if black men are supposed to lead the community, why do black women not want to be under the leadership of black men for the betterment of the community? And that is a massive issue. And Sarah will talk about this in a sec, about black women having power and not wanting to relinquish that power. And one of the reasons why I think this is a massive issue, because love and authority will correct things, and they'll correct it from two different perspectives. So love is about showing people the truth in a way that actually changes them. Authority demands a change, regardless of whether you agree or don't agree. And with black men being the authority, or wanting to be the authority, or needing to be the authority in the black community, it will demand more of black women. So all this single motherhood that the white dominant society allow, a lot of that stuff will no longer be happening, because as I've said to you before, over 54 or 56% of black men do not have children. And if black men control the community and engage with black women who are single mothers, they will demand that single motherhood rate of 61% has to go down to 4 or 5% over the next coming generations if you want to build with black men. So this is the reason why a lot of black women don't want black men to be patriarchs within the black community. It happens in all other communities. That's why Sarah mentioned, and this is pretty much a quote from Kevin Samuels on an episode where he was talking about do Arab men act like do Arab men act like their women belong to them? Do Chinese men act like they belong to their men, and vice versa? And do Russian women act like they belong to Russian men? And the woman answered yes on all of those occasions. But when it came to black women, she had to put a disclaimer, and that's on Kevin Samuels' show, and that's the same thing that Sarah did just there, and it is about not a form of ownership, but a form of mutual responsibility. So black women should align themselves with black men who are going to lead the community, and that's what we read in the Moynihan report, where it talks about the fact that within the black community, because black men have never been empowered to be the leaders from an image point of view, because of an absence point of view, they've never been economically enfranchised so that they can lead their community and they can build a family structure. So black women have never really have never known being close to black men. They've done it out of necessity and out of survival, but since the 1960s, there's been a massive breakdown in the black community, and this channel will be discussing exactly why that is. And if black women want to repair this community, then they need to align themselves, with that 54% of black men who are trying to change the community by not engaging in creating fatherless homes or mother-led homes. Black men want to lead the community, but they need black women who are on their page and who are wanting to get married and build families. But we just simply see that cannot happen, because black women are holding on to the matriarchal mindset that is over in America and in the UK. And I think this lady here, she's a single woman. I think she's over 30. But again, a lot of black women need to get married younger, start a family, and we'll go into like things like the mindset of having of wanting these sort of alpha type men, rich men, all this sort of stuff, when really and truthfully we should have more IKEA marriages where people just meet in the middle and they build together over a 15, 20, 30, 40 year period, which is what the most of white America does. That's what the most of white Britain does. But in the black culture, we cannot seem to get it together, for a variety of reasons. We cannot seem to get it together for the betterment of our community.
They're not doing it, and there's an abuse of authority.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. There's an
Yeah.
abuse of authority
Yes.
out there, right?
Yes.
But the person in authority, you understand that they're doing it for your best interest. So if I'm in front of a judge, and the judge says you must not steal from your neighbor, right? I understand that judge came to that conclusion because he has the best interest of the society at heart, because we can't run around just stealing from our neighbors,
Okay.
right? So my thing is, if everyone understands what authority is, why don't black women understand, and
Okay.
why do black women have such a hard time submitting to black authority?
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you, do you really?
No, why do they?
She needs to answer that question, and I don't know if she knows the answer, but I've given you the answer.
You're a black woman, why do they?
I don't feel. I don't.
Yeah, a lot of black women cannot answer this question, and this is why I try to break this down and try to give you this from honesty perspective, not just my opinion, but looking at historical documentation and looking at the media.
I don't think for me I don't think for me that's not based on color.
You're talking about for you. I'm saying you can see it just like I can see it.
Yeah.
So let's not play dumb. Black women have a hard time submitting
I don't know. When I think
to black
about
authority.
when I think about my last relationship, yeah,
Mhm.
I can say that I wouldn't necessarily say it wasn't a authority thing, but maybe I could have been. Nah, I don't know. I would just say generally, yeah. You know, honestly, one reason, and this is where I get back, is the best. First of all, is the best interest thing, because wouldn't you say that historically, wouldn't you understand that maybe it wasn't always easy for a black woman to surrender to a black man's leadership?
Why?
Looking at us historically,
Yeah.
why do you think? Do you know? I'm asking you. Wouldn't you
Right.
agree that maybe
So-
that there is a disconnect
So,
and it's difficult?
right, so it's
Yeah?
difficult.
Yes.
So, what's happening now is there's black men saying, okay, like myself, I understand the historical ills of the past. I understand it. I've read African history for over 10 years, right? I understand it. It's saying, okay, cool, do I continue it, or do I try to steer the ship a different way? And so what's happening is, for so long, black women have had power, right, and not listened. What's happening now, what you're seeing, is black women not able to relinquish their power because they've had it for so long. And so what it looks like on my side, you're saying, oh, he hates black women. No, I'm trying to steer the ship because black men generally for a very long time have not wanted to steer the ship because black men for a very long time have been children. Can we agree on?
Yeah, see, I would disagree with that. Actually, no, I don't. I don't disagree with it. And this is what I spoke about in the effects of. I did an episode on the effects of the gynocracy and versus feminism on the James G. Martin, and I used the Moynihan report. So one of the effects of disenfranchising men, whether it's black men through slavery, racism, Jim Crow, segregation, and the marginalization that's happened over 3 centuries, is that those black men feel they check out from society. Okay, so this is where they now turn to things like crime, they turn to drug abuse, gambling, all that sort of stuff. And I'm not sure if and this is why him saying for a long time black men have been children, there is truth to that. But again, you have to dial it back to exactly what caused it. Don't just talk about the effect, because again, this is again some of the issues that we have. We talk about things from what's the symptom rather than looking at what is the actual condition and what caused this symptom. Okay, so let's finish this off. I don't want to take too much more of your time
on that. Black men.
But honestly, really and truly, I must honestly say, now dating, being single again since 2 years and coming back into the dating world as a conscious black woman. Like before I was with my ex-boyfriend, I was like, what, 24? My dating life, I didn't really think deep into things. I'm like, oh, I'm feeling you. Let's see where this goes. But now,
right.
With what I know
Vibes.
now, yes, with what I know now, I think, sorry, but a lot of black men are still children.
Right, exactly. So what's happening now, I would not disagree with you, right?
Yeah.
So if we understand that a lot of black women have been very used to black men being children, you hear, but when black men speak, say, oh, this guy, he didn't have a job, or he lived with his mom, or he done this, and they're essentially children. What's happening is there is a new wave of black men.
Yeah, so 2 quick points and then we'll finish off. Again, the Moynihan report talks about the fact that when men are disenfranchised, they will go into things that are fantasy. That's why, again, I talk about the crime and the drug abuse, the gambling, the playing games, being very immature, okay, because they've not been able to grow into a man. And there's that quote in the Moynihan report that talks about in a society where men are judged by the size of their pay packet, black men are considerably small compared to white men, and also black women earn more than them. Okay, and then the other aspect, what was he talking about here? Was the last part.
They're essentially children. What's happening is there is a new wave of black men.
Yeah.
Let's say that's saying, you know what?
Yeah, and then there's a episode that I did with Maya Angelou. You can check that on again on my channel. Where no, not Maya Angelou. There's another episode where it talks about the first black podcast, and I talk about the Moynihan report being debunked, where men in that episode were talking about the fact that they are the new black men, and they're not going to allow black women to lead the community. And this is the same conversation that we're having in Black Britain over 60 years ago. And let me see if I can find that quickly for you. Does it? Okay. Let's see if I can find that for you. Okay, cool. Yeah. So let's look at this here. So yeah, it's So it's this one here, where they talk about them being
about what the new black man expects from the new black woman came when I met with a group of young unmarried friends.
Yeah. So yeah, again, this is part of what's going on. So yeah, I'll stop it from there. You can find that episode in other ones. Please like, subscribe, go over to those guys' channel, support their work. It's fantastic, brilliant. So yeah, like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think. God bless.